Hello and welcome to Grinding Meeting number 52, a master manipulator running on empty. Haven't done a stream in a while. Thought I'd get back into it, and this is something special I came across. There are many, say, psychopathic individuals out there in the clinical sense, and they just play the people around them so effectively that most people don't even know that it's happened. Oh, shoot. Well, I just started screwing around with something I should have been screwing around with. Why would I do this? Sorry about that. Had it all set up. And then I screwed it up. Hey, there. So anyway, this is someone I believe to be, I should make a distinction between the psychopath and sociopath. And it's actually nuanced and it's complicated and there's a lot of overlap, but simplest distinction, to put it in the shortest number of words, would be some monsters are born monsters and some monsters are created, usually by other monsters. So the psychopath never was going to be normal, never had a chance to be. The sociopath is someone who is normal or relatively normal, but got broken by life. Like the experiences when they're younger, but the psychopath just is wired differently. They don't have a moral dimension to their reason. They don't experience social anxiety, which makes them incredibly powerful. How much more effective would you be if you didn't have to spend any mental energy actually concerned about what other people thought about you? Or what you thought about yourself even. So they typically could play puppet master with the people around them. In fact, that's one of the few things you don't get there aren't a whole lot of things a psychopath can do that feel meaning, which also tends to, if they discover a drug they really like, it tends to go very badly for them because it's the closest thing they can feel to meaning. So that is what I'm guessing happened here. This is a girl who, as far as I can tell, had like her family wrapped around her finger, but then found a drug she really liked and just kept going downhill. And I think this is really special because it's very much like a vaccine in the classical so much, where you provide the immune system with a dead or weakened version of a virus, so your immune system can recognize it, learn what it is, and spot it in the future, a targeted immune response, which is more effective. So I think she presents as a vaccine in that you kind of get to see like the clumsy, you kind of get to see behind the curtain. Like she's trying to do the manipulations that always worked well for her, but it's not working like it used to. And you might think that she looks very much delusional in the same way that other people on these cop videos look delusional, except she did have the ability to control people in this. She's not just like living in a delusional state that just grew over time. Like she thinks she still is what she used to be and can do what she used to do, but she has damaged her cognitive faculties so much that, we're just seeing this like flailing, weakened version of what she used to be, which makes her a good vaccine. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
So yes, the situation here, which I'll let it unfold.
Why isn't she getting out?
I don't know. She's got a lot of problems in life. I can't seem to solve them. So I offered to give her a ride, and now.
And you hear the guy, he can't not help her, he's just compelled to help her. Apparently she's been through some drug rehab and other issues lately. And they're trying to establish boundaries. You can't stay at the house, let you up a place to stay, all this kind of thing. And she just feels so entitled to their assets that them denying her is basically like her conceptual, how she thinks she's right and they're wrong. Or,
This is my dad, and I think he's, I don't know exactly what's going on, but he has the key to the car, so I'm just waiting on him to get out of the building.
and she, look at this. This is classic. I'm just, the observer here. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm just waiting here patiently, politely for this other person who I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. But as soon as they stop being so irrational, this whole situation will be resolved. Ow. That is an elbow on the corner. Whole hand is tingling.
You're waiting on him to what?
To get out of the building, to come drive the car. He just parked us here, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you know he doesn't have to drive you anywhere, but...
Now, here's the first really reasonable thing, he doesn't have to drive you anywhere. And she has to make up a reason why it's unreasonable to think that he doesn't have to drive her.
His car, he doesn't have to take you anywhere if he doesn't want to.
I understand. Well, he already took me here, so I'm in the car. I'd like to, go back to my house whenever he's ready.
And she's saying my house. She's talking about his house. She wants to go back to his house because her place is here, which they'll explain in a little bit.
Basically. So I'm just sitting in the car.
Okay, but do you realize that if he doesn't want to take you, you have to get out because it's his car, it's his property?
I don't think so. I think
No,
because
I'm letting you know
No.
that that's how that works.
Okay, well, I'm going to be sitting here. So, whenever he's ready.
But he doesn't.
The burden, she's the reasonable one, and this whole unreasonable situation will end when he stops being so unreasonable. She is the pinnacle of reason, and and she won't fully explain things, which forces, and by the way, this cop, patience of a saint. I think she's recognized the type before, and she's dealt with this. Very impressive.
You don't want to drive. You don't want to drive her home?
No, I do not.
I think he might be having some sort of early dementia or something, but
And wow, she is just he is so unreasonable, in fact, that he might be showing signs of early onset dementia. If you could just tell him to get in the car and drive us home, that'd just be better for him. Because this is so embarrassing for him. Whole display he's putting.
he's not acting like himself. We were just going to go to Starbucks, and then he said that he had to go, and I can't remember if he said he needed to take a package somewhere.
He had me bring her down here.
Okay, oddly enough, if you're telling a story and then you start saying one thing and then you correct yourself, for some reason it makes you sound much more credible. The manipulation tactic. I don't know if you... But that's a classic maneuver.
I got her a couple of gift cards because she doesn't have a job.
So basically, it's not hard to put it together. She's like, Dad, I'm hungry, whatever I need to do. And just pulled on those heartstrings. And then he picks her up to try to hook her up and take her shopping. And he'll explain some of this later. Get her some gift cards so that she can't use it on drugs. She has to use it on food. And she's still pulling him in and trying to extract resources out of him, and thought that she could basically say, no, you're taking me back to the house. Not working. Typically, she'd be able to manipulate the crap out of him, but she's kind of off her game.
He did. He just got me a gift
He's
card.
supposed to be in a rehab facility, but somehow managed to get kicked out of it and showed up back at the apartment. So I felt sorry for her, my mistake. Gave her more money, gave her more things to do, took her here so she could get food. Not only did she not get food, she refused to get out of the car, and now she refuses to get out of it at all.
I'm
And I
just
need her
trying to
out of
spend
the car.
the day with
I'm
him,
sorry,
or
officer, I know this is crazy.
go out and run errands. We're just trying to.
This is just a normal thing. I'm just spending the day with my dad. We're just running some errands. And then this happened. I don't know where this is coming from. It's probably dementia.
You said she was evicted from the apartment. Does she not? So that's not where she lives anymore.
I still live there.
She is in the process of eviction. I don't think
Okay.
they got a final order for it yet.
Okay.
So she can still be there. But
She doesn't really want it either. Where I live normally. I'm not trying to live in this car. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but you're not trying to get out of this car.
Correct.
Which, right.
Gotta love that cop. Yeah, but you're also not trying to get out of this car. I love this chick.
Now you're breaking the law because it's not your car. So you're trespassing.
So I go on Ubers.
Okay.
Ubers
With
or
the permission of the person. He doesn't want
I go on Ubers. What? With out using the app. You just see an Uber driver and get in and expect to be taken places. It's like, there's a consent part here.
In his car, you're trespassing in his okay, so we can play this game, but you're gonna get arrested. I mean, that's literally how it's gonna be, or you could just step out of the car. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I'm trying to explain something to you, and you're not really willing to listen.
And she's trying to help. Like, I can't imagine an officer doing any better than this person is doing right. It's just this girl just won't take the L. And it's not that she's just like this delusional person. Like, she has a lot of experience that tells her that she's going to win this. And only recently has she started taking L's, and she doesn't really understand why things aren't working as well for her as they used to be. Or as well as they used to work.
Explained it to me, but I would like to shut my door now.
I'm not doing that. It's not your door. It's not your car.
Okay, I'll just ignore that one.
Just get out, Alex.
I'm just getting passive aggressive with the cop now.
You're making a show
His
out.
door? I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make a show out of it. It's just like, it's frustrating.
See the problem? I didn't want to touch her at this point. because-
No, I understand. I mean, it's definitely your car, and you want her out of the car. Can you understand, please?
I shouldn't have agreed to do it. She's had long
Like I said, she roped him in.
And it's my fault. I enabled one more time.
So it's not your car. If he wants you out here trespassing, you gotta get out.
Well, I think there's a misunderstanding. I think something's going on with my dad because he's not acting like himself.
No, he's acting pretty normal to me.
No, I think
I love the cop. No, he's acting pretty normal to me. Like, she won't give up on, like, no, I'm the reasonable one. He's the unreasonable one. He's causing the scene. I'm just trying to spend a day with my dad and go shopping. It's not that I escaped my drug rehab and then came back to the house and then got kicked out. The ability of the psychopath to craft a narrative in so few words that seems so reasonable, but takes you time to process. And while you're trying to process, they're off to something else. And now you have to decide, am I going to keep processing this thing they just said that didn't seem to quite make sense, but I can't put my finger on it? Do I keep processing that, or do I listen to what's happening now? And if you listen to what's happening now, you kind of tacitly accept the previous thing as true. This is like what like motivational speakers and stuff do, where, you know, they just don't give you time to think about the thing you just heard. And they start off with really reasonable things. It's kind of like a Nutter book, like, you know, Bigfoot, whatever, where they will start off so reasonable, and then they will just slowly turn up the unreasonable meter until, you know, it's the frog on a hot plate analogy. You know, you turn up the heat slow enough, even though I don't think it's a great analogy. You just turn it up slowly and people don't notice. But she just doesn't. She's used to being basically socially smarter than everyone around her, and it's hard to tell when you're getting dumber. it's hard to keep track of that, what's happening to her. But we always go to our go-to stuff, you know, the stuff that's always worked for us. We go to it, even if it's been failing recently. We're like, it's kind of like gambler mentality.
I think he's acting like
Valid negative on a 2021 blue four-door registered to Jackson.
maybe like he has early onset, like dementia, Alzheimer's.
Can we talk
outside
outside?
of No. You guys are right here. I'm fine. I'm not stepping out. And I feel like usually you ask people not to step out of the car.
Why won't you get out? Why don't you?
This is the selective reasoning thing. Like she just made like the claim that cops don't ever want you to get out of your car, basically.
Get out.
It's on principle at this point. But
But you understand that
On principle at this point. What principle is that? His is mine. That's the principle. That's it. If you just strip everything else away, get down to the center of the onion, what's his is mine, and he needs to understand that.
you're probably going to end up going to jail then, right?
you do know that usually, like, if you pulled me over on a highway, we'd both have to pull over, park together.
We're not doing
And
that.
I would not be allowed out of my vehicle, in fact. You'd say, roll down the window and please present your papers to me. That's what you would say.
Papers. Cops do not like hearing. Papers, please. Wow, I somehow missed a Russian accent file there.
And I would give
But
you
I
that
may
information
sometimes. I
and
also
stay in
ask
the
a lot of
car
people
while
out of the car
you
too.
Okay, well, this isn't...
But your dad wants you out of the
This
car.
doesn't feel like... a very real situation. Like, and it doesn't feel like we're bothering anyone.
So
That is really interesting. This doesn't feel like a real situation. That this is something that's been ginned up by her dad, and for some reason, these cops are listening to his dementia-ridden father instead of her. The narrative crafting and just framing everything. Like, she's still really good at this, but it's just not going to work in this context because it's so cut and dry. It's like, that's his car. He wants you out of the car. Get out of the car, you go to jail. Like, she fails to grasp that this is one she's not going to win. Called a defiant L.
you want to press charges for trespassing?
I do.
I mean, you can't just press charges like that.
You can.
No, you
So,
can't.
do you want to get out of the car or not?
Don't you guys have anything better to do today?
We actually do.
Yeah, like, so I don't know
We
what you
would
guys
really
are up
like
to.
for you to
Why
get out
don't
so
you
we
guys
don't
out of
have
your
to.
cars?
I don't want to take a ride to the jail.
I would love to.
I would hate. I
You
don't
know
wanna
what?
do that.
I love riding around places. I love going on errands. I love driving.
Now she's filibustering. She'll be doing a lot of this.
Love all of it.
This is going to be one of those situations on when you go down to the jail. People are like, "What are you in for?" And you say, "Because I wouldn't get out of the car." People are going to be like, "That's a stupid reason to go to jail." I mean, really,
That's a good maneuver. Like what he's doing now with most people, they'd be like, I do not want to be sitting in jail, realizing the only reason I'm there is because I wouldn't get out of a car. But she's just locked in now. She says it's on principle, but she's just got locked in. I am not.
there's really not a really good reason to go to jail, but that's really stupid.
Well, it's more stupid of you guys because it's just a lot of paperwork and a
We
lot of
don't want
trouble.
She basically went, no, you're stupid.
But we're public servants. We've been called here.
You're not a servant.
We've been summoned here. So we're here to solve a problem.
Do
Unfortunately,
you have a payroll?
the problem is that you're in the car. It's to solve the problem.
I don't think there's not a solution. There isn't a solution.
The solution is that you step out.
Oh, wow, she's really pretty too. Was not expecting that.
Either stand over here, you could sit, there's a bench over here, there's a bench there, there's a bench
Step
over there. Okay, yeah, go ahead and stand out of the car.
No, I stepped out. It's fine.
Yeah, she's literally like, I'm getting out. No, I'm not.
Please allow me to.
No, you're
Shut
not
my
closing
door.
the door. So
I don't want to shut it on you. I don't want to, like...
I can promise you, you're not.
Please stop touching this car because it's not your car.
It's not yours either.
Well, that's okay.
alright, you're gonna end up.
No.
You're gonna end up.
You are. Stop. Step on out. I'm just gonna pull you out. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna come out of the car. So do we have to make this harder? I don't want.
Don't pull my arm out of its socket.
Please step out.
Don't touch me.
We'll just get the statement. We're not in a hurry.
Don't touch me. Don't molest me. Please.
What's gonna end?
Molest me. She's like going to the bottom of the barrel here, like the desperation moves.
End up happening is we're gonna end up having to use force on you.
I would like to
Don't-
press charges for assault. An assault
it's not
charge. I just was assaulted.
It wasn't.
Battery.
So
I want to press charges for battery.
you don't get that.
She is so used to just snapping her finger and people standing at attention, waiting to fulfill her wishes.
It's
I
lawful.
want to press charges.
It's a lawful.
I would like to press charges.
You don't get to.
I'm being held against my will.
Great, get out of the car.
No, you're
I'm being held against my will. Okay, good. Get out of the car. No, I think I'll still stay in the car.
I'm being held against my will. Please leave.
No. So these are the options. You can get out of the car. You can leave on your own accord. You can walk away, or you're going to end up going with us.
Get a judge or something. Like I don't know what else to tell you.
Like she deserves a judge to come out on the street and rule on this. Well, biologically solipsistic is kind of what I use. They just aren't. They just don't have whatever it takes to consider that other people are people like they are. Like this person doesn't actually believe other people are real, at least not in the same way that she's real. And she's had a life where, basically you can walk all over anybody, get most anything you want, and play puppet master with the people around you. You get the idea that, like, it'd be hard not to form that opinion if that was the environment you're in.
Get a judge and a jury
and taking a trial. Like, I don't really understand.
So,
Mail me some papers. I mean, I don't know. Like,
would you like to be married?
whatever the charges are, like, let me know.
Well, right now
Are you going to
the
give me a
charges
ticket?
are
Why don't you just give me a ticket?
Well, we could give you.
She is really ignorant of how this works. It's almost like she's never had an interaction with law enforcement before.
But you have to get out of the car. That's the problem. So the main.
Or a verbal warning? Be like, hey, please don't sit in people's cars again if they don't want you in them.
So that we've tried that. We're trying to get you out.
No, you didn't. But anyway,
So-
my dad is.
Yeah, she didn't like that. She has to change gears, and she's gonna kind of go back on the attack on her dad. She's just flailing at this point, but she's not scared. Like she said earlier, this doesn't feel real. She doesn't actually think this is really happening. That this is just some show being put on by these her dad and the cops. Like, we need to get on with what's supposed to be happening, which is my dad taking me back to the house, so I have access to all those resources.
Obviously, like, demented, and he's got, like, an issue that I can't diagnose, right? I don't know what to do because he's getting older. Yes, in fact, we live at the same building.
Okay.
I am his caretaker. So,
You're his caretaker?
yes,
Now she is just, oh my God, just like, it's almost like watching a great boxer trying to continue to fight past their prime, and it's just kind of embarrassing. Like, moral judgments aside, watching, like a psychopath manipulate people is a sight to be seen if you recognize what's happening. And I mean, I've only known 3. And one of them was fascinating because he was what I call the benevolent psychopath, and that he has the compulsion to just play puppet master with the people around him. And he is way smarter. Even though most people, if I were so inclined, I could run circles around, this guy runs circles around me. But the sum total of his interactions with people leave people happier than if they had not had that interaction. Like, he'll screw around, but there's a lot of self-deprecating humor. And okay, I've told this a few times. I'm at Walmart. I'm with my daughter. She's 8 at the time, and we're in line. And this little boy, just a little younger than my daughter, comes up and looks at me. He goes, "Daddy, where have you been?" Life. I just assume somebody's screwing with me. So I start craning my neck around, and I see this guy like 4 aisles down laughing his butt off. His kid's having fun. My daughter, so uncomfortable that if she could have crawled under the cart, she would have. But like, I had that story for the rest of my life, and he would do a lot of stuff like this, and people, yeah, he got to fulfill his need to play puppet master and, kind of, manipulate people a little. But overall, he's a force for good, at least as far as I could tell. The other 2, very different, generally unhappy. Nothing really interests them other than, basically messing around with other people. Going into something, but I lost it, so let's get back.
I am.
Fine.
And you know what?
How do you care for him?
I take care of him.
How?
I take care of
Do
him.
you work?
Yes, I do. I work a lot. I do things.
I work a lot. It's like a denial of an accusation that didn't actually exist. What's the Shakespeare thing? I think she doth protest too much. No, I work. I do a lot of work. I work all the time.
It doesn't matter. What do you do?
You sound a lot like my brother used to sound before he burned my mom's house down.
What do you do?
Oh my God. I love these cops. I do. You sound a lot like my brother did before he burned my mom's house down.
You just like police stuff? What is that? What is policing?
What is policing even really? What is that? What really is that? Oh.
That is literally my job. I'm a supervisor. But here's the issue. Your father is wanting you out of the car. He's willing to press charges. Therefore, you're going to end up going with us because you're refusing to get out of the car. I literally cannot be nicer to you.
He's not wrong. They could not have been nicer to her. And they made valiant efforts above and beyond that would have worked on 99.9% of people. This is just a rare situation and an individual rare. It's like an eclipse we get.
It's like,
Oh, and I'm not doing the whole like takedown arrest. You know, if you want that, the video's not too hard to find. It's kind of blowing up since I just grabbed it. Crime scene cam right in the middle there.
what if we're in the doorway at my house and like you were holding it?
Different scenario.
I know. Let me describe a completely different situation that would benefit me if we were in that situation. It's like, yeah, that's a different situation.
Different rules, different times, different things. Okay? This isn't your car.
Is that your street?
Oh, excuse me. Is that your street?
It's part of the city.
Is that your pavement?
It's the cities.
Or is just that your stone?
It's the cities.
Okay,
So
the city.
why
Okay, and the
don't you
brick.
wanna get out of the car?
She's filibustering again, just pointing out things in the environment, like anything she can get to talk as if she's making an argument against what's about to happen to her. But it's really a stall tactic where this has worked in the past where she just work people down. And this is what psychopaths are really good for and why they can be amazing politicians. Like Mao, he would just get in these meetings with Mao from China. They'd just get into these like party meetings or whatever and would just browbeat people with like this endless energy. And normal social people, this gets draining after a while. You know, the kind of draining that a introvert experiences in social interaction, especially in large numbers. That kind of draining feeling will happen in neurotypical people if they spend enough time in a room with, like this. And eventually you will just concede whatever it is just so you can escape the environment. And this is the tactic that she's employing, which has obviously worked for her in the past.
Who runs the city? Who owns the pavement?
This is what you could call being a Socratic dick, where you just keep asking questions that aren't really relevant to what's going on. Just to kind of, it's like your little kid asking, why? Okay, why is this? Okay, well, why is the sky blue? Well, it has to do with, the atmosphere and, the sunlight coming through it and how it refracts. Oh, okay. Why is blue blue? Well, and eventually they'll get you to a point where they just ask you why. And you're like, because.
I want to talk to whoever owns the road.
Who do you think that would be?
I don't know. I think you would have to try to get in contact with them or something.
I don't have to do anything.
I don't know. Talk to the bank that rents out that pavement. I don't know.
The bank owns the pavement. You just told her it was the city. I don't know. I think she's, as this situation has gotten worse, she's showing more like withdrawal tics. So it might be degrading her here, her cognitive ability even further.
I don't know what to tell you. Call someone. But it'd be really cool if you would just let me shut the door. I'm not a dog dying in a hot car, okay?
You go by Alex Alexander or you go by?
What am I called?
No, what do you go by? Do you like to be called Alex Alexander?
I don't like to be called at all.
You know what?
He's just trying to get her name. I'm not even working with that.
I don't like to be called at all.
Okay, what is your name?
What do you like to be called? A very courteous thing. It's like, I don't like to be called.
Why do you need to know that?
All right, Alexandria. I'm again going to politely ask you to get out of the car.
I would tell you my name if I wanted to.
Things are going to go not your way in a minute.
I don't have them.
And I would prefer them not go down that way. Yeah, but they're going to get worse.
She literally doesn't believe that what they say is going to happen is going to happen. And this isn't like a self-sabotage thing. A lot of times people who are happy with themselves do things deliberately but unconsciously that will cause them to end up in a bad situation. She literally believes that she can browbeat these people until they will just be like, just drive her home, man. That's not how cops work.
They're going to get worse. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get forcefully taken out of the car, and I don't want to do that. Because I don't want us to get hurt, and I don't want you to get hurt. So I really would like you to get out of the car so that we don't have to force you to get out of the car, or that force doesn't have to be used.
Defiance.
Just a single word. It's like she's looking at the screenplay for the movie that is her life in this particular scene. And it was instructions, not dialogue.
That's your choice?
Defiance.
So you understand the risk that you're taking with this, right? Okay.
One thing to keep in mind, people who are delusional will suddenly have a reality check when they get grabbed, and like their heart will race, their pitch will go up, they will become frantic, they will talk quicker in shorter syllables and gruntier. You know, they're when someone realizes that, you know, the cops have got them and they're going to jail, like things change in a normal person, even a fairly abnormal person. What's interesting to watch here is her tone doesn't change. She's still the authority on all things, even while getting handcuffed.
No. You're touching me. What are you doing? No, I'm not.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's not what you say.
Why?
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
You're under arrest.
No.
You're gonna be
I'm
placed
not under arrest.
You
I'm
are.
under cardiac arrest.
And the lamest joke, like, just trying to, like, it's amazing how, like, nothing has changed for her.
No.
You're placed under arrest for trespassing and
You
resisting.
can't do that.
We can.
No, you're not going to.
And it's like she thinks she has the powers of a Jedi. And, you know, up until recently, she probably effectively did. And it's been her experience that if she just puts her will towards something, she can just basically work somebody down. Maybe not get everything she wanted, but get, you know, some of it. So just, even now, she believes that they're just confused and they're just doing this, and you know, they will come to heel and listen to what she has to say.
You're not going to. Stop. Stop.
I wish we didn't have to.
Stop.
I wish we didn't have to.
Stop.
We tried to work it out with you.
Stop.
For whatever reason you decided.
Stop. Stop policing me.
That's just funny. Okay. Well, I just want to get through that. Like I said, the original, I want to find the original. What is it? Oh man, where's her bug? Crime Scene Cam. I believe that's the YouTube channel. If you want to watch the whole thing, there's like another like 20 minutes. But I was really just interested in the impaired psychopath. Seeing kind of the simpler, easier to spot manipulations that if she was on her game, she would not have like gone up against cops like that. But if you had video of her like on her game doing her thing, you would not even recognize it. Very unlikely. I think understanding that these people are different and the manipulations they try to do, I think it's useful to understand how that works because they can really mess people up. This has been Grinding Meeting number 52, a master manipulator running on empty. You all have a great day.